Well, howdy folks, a bad password here, or some shit like that. And in today's video, I'm doing things a little different. Now, usually when one of my videos are formatted like this, it's a rant or satirical. But today I'm going to be doing a bit of a review. And it's not a new game, because every single new game these days sucks. And then there's those nostalgia channels who dive into older games and review/talk about games from the past. Well, guess what? I'm not doing that either, because every old game sucks too. You see, folks, I'm not reviewing a new game nor an old game. Now, you might be wondering, well then, what is he reviewing? You see, the only things I like to review are the classics. You don't come to this channel for mediocrity, you don't come to this channel for low-tier video games, and you certainly don't come here for humor. When you visit this channel, not only do you expect to receive, I expect to deliver quality content. And that's what you're getting here today, so step aside, Mario, and Master Chief who? And fuck off whoever PlayStation's mascot is, because today, we're dropping into the mines to find the ultimate hidden gem. Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Don't look at that. Now, this video has been on the back burner for over a year now, and what I mean is I recorded and beat this shit almost exactly a year ago. But with Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out this month, I figured why not get into that cowboy mood. Now, when I began writing this, I honestly didn't know where to begin. See, one thing I learned from my time in college is that it's much easier to write about what you dislike than what you do like, and since I've never done a positive review on a video game before, with nowhere to turn, I decided to start off by reading the review I left on the Xbox Game Store, something I rarely do. Don't hesitate. It's worth the purchase. Phenomenal game. Even years later, it plays great. The gunplay is astounding. Story and dialogue are solid, and there's multiple skill trees with actual worthwhile upgrades, each with enough diversity for all types of playstyles. If you're having second doubts, then let this be the last review you read. Worth every dollar. Damn, I sound convincing. But anyway, let's start there. The story mode. Throughout the duration of this game, you play as Silas Greaves, a well-known bounty hunter who's come into an old saloon in the year 1910. There he meets a few other patrons in the saloon where he retells his story of being a bounty hunter during the Wild West. During those stories, you encounter some of the most well-known names during the Wild West era. See, while Silas Greaves wasn't a real person, almost everyone in the story he squares off or squares up with were real people. This game blurs the line between fact and fiction, maintaining some authenticity without dampening the game's story. This game also has a section called Nuggets of Truth that gives you real details on the Wild West in regards to people of significance, battles, weapons, and more if you're into that stuff. Me though, I already passed history class. With a D. But I will give you one little bit of history worth sharing. In this game, in one of the missions, you get to fight off the Dalton brothers. And again, this really happened. The Dalton brothers, who at this point in time decided to rob not one, but two banks at the same time, on the same street, in broad daylight, in their hometown where everyone knew them and instantly recognized them. See, the problem was they should have gone to a town where nobody recognized them. Makes robbing two banks at the same time much easier to do. And to no surprise, every member of the gang died, except for Emmett Dalton, who somehow survived being shot 23 times. After serving 14 years in prison, he became an actor. Good for him. Now back to the game.
Finally, I had the stables within my reach.
This is where the fun begins. Hold on, just give me a sec. All right, hold on. Almost there. Okay. All right. Now, like I previously didn't mention before, I have not played the first Red Dead Redemption video game, but it is on my list. But one thing I decided to do when making this video was take a look at that game's standoff feature versus this game's. And I've gotta say, I think Call of Juarez has Red Dead beat in that department. Let's take a look.
fast as he was. I was just a bit faster.
But of course, just like this whole video, that's just my opinion. But before we move on, how about we take a quick look at my favorite encounter in game, a good old Mexican standoff. Fuck! Next off, the gunplay. Oh mama. For a game that came out in 2013, it puts some modern shooters to shame. Personally, in an FPS, I think gunplay needs to be pretty high up there and the thing a developer needs to perfect. After all, it's a shooter! You're doing it most of the time, but thankfully the team behind COJ gets this and makes their gunplay not only extremely snappy, but extremely satisfying regardless of weapon choice, as well as delivering satisfaction upon every kill the player earns, through kill scores and medals popping up for each kill, giving you the ability to instantly see your accomplishments without being intrusive. I like to think about Halo 5 and Call of Duty World War II, where both of which in their franchise's recent installments have both added or to use the word satisfying enough, have both added a pleasing to the ear sound effect for every time the player gets a headshot, both of which I would say gives the player an incentive to hear that pleasing sound once again, which subsequently means you're getting headshots, which is a good sign in any shooter. You're rewarding the player on the spot, and while Call of Juarez doesn't use a sound effect, it has other ways of rewarding the player's accomplishments, which makes your player happy.
Alright, one. Nope, 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 nope!
Next off, we'll quickly scoop into the skill trees. Now there's 3 different playstyles you've got here, all of which contain upgrades that are worth your while to work towards and enhance your gameplay. The first of which turns you into a dual-wielding desperado, a twin-barreled reaper delivering death a dozen at a time, a cum-slinging wombat, you get the point. And with multiple revolver options, you can shoot your load fast and clean, hot and heavy, or just centipede yourself into the center and find a nice balance between the two. And as someone who has an unhealthy infatuation with revolvers, this loadout not only spoke to me and called to me, it touched me, and now I'm traumatized. Next off, there's the shotgun class. Yeah, I don't know what perks comes with this. I was too busy shooting 2 Mandingo-sized hand cannons, but I'll take a stab in the dark. If you find pleasure by incorrectly playing the game through the means of close quarters obstacle obliteration, then this loadout not only delivers, it excels. I think. Dual-wielding shotguns is pretty cool though. And finally, there's the rifle loadout. Perfect for a coward who relies on range. And while this class has some advantages over my personal favorite, the revolver still has a plethora of more over the rifle, totaling to around 738,000 to 12. More or less. But I suppose if you can come to terms with your failure of mastering the way of the twin cannons, then the rifle loadout can turn you into a hawk-eyed marksman who channels thunder and lightning with pinpoint accuracy. And if you mix that with the game's focus feature, well then, you might not be a failure after all. Now, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor. With 4 Call of Juarez games, one of which being a total failure, released between the years 2006 to 2013, the COJ franchise is sadly one that has not made it to the next generation of gaming. Though, there are rumblings that a remaster or a new game could be in the works, as the developer Techland Studios recently bought back the rights to the franchise from evil Ubisoft. Yay! Isn't it a great day when Ubisoft and EA lose property? Now if we can just yank Star Wars off their hands. But anyway, they've also made games like Dead Island and Dying Light, so you know what they're capable of. Alright guys, now as we clear off the checklist, I think it's time to admit I don't really know what the point of this video was, but I think I know what happened. I played a game, I really liked it, and I wanted to talk about it. And at the same time, good games should be played and praised, especially in this day and age. And while obviously it's no Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2, it's still a magnificent cowboy and regular video game that I got for 15 bucks. You got a campaign, horde, and duel mode. Before I played this, I didn't have a personal top 5 games list, but Call of Juarez was so damn good it made me create one. This game made me take initiative, and with review scores that make you say, yeah, I guess that's pretty good. I don't care even if it does pale in comparison to Red Dead, because I had a good time, and I want you to have a good time too. So you play what you fucking want, alright? Don't let anyone tear down your favorite game, because if you like it, then that's all that matters, because you like it. So go out there, accomplish your dreams and shit, have kids, get married, overdose, I don't give a fuck. What matters is you did it, and you did it your own way. Class of 2018, you fucking graduated!
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Yes, finally!